Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Saria, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we not even gonna waste any time. We gotta get right into it, okay? We gotta get right up into it. Y'all didn't even give me a hug while we sitting up here watching this video, but let's just get into it. So we start off the episode. We see Angela and Brit. They meet up. They're going for a walk. We see Brit. She has her little cute white fluffy puppy in the stroller. They sit down and they start talking. Angela's like, oh, you know, how's married life? How's your husband? Child. Ooh, my bad, girl. Something flew in my mouth. But anyways, girl, how are you doing? How's your family life? Just, you know, fly flew in her mouth and just smooth on transitioned right over to Angela, right? They sit down and Angela's like, oh, well, you know, family is everything. One second, y'all. Let me close my door. But yeah, Angela is like, you know, family is everything. But right now, her and her sister, they're not seeing eye to eye right now. Okay? She says she let her family all up in her business. Her and Charles were having some problems. What kind of problems, Angela? So yeah, she said they talked about it. They both apologized to each other, but Charles just can't let it go. And it's funny that he can't let it go because is he the source of these problems? Because that's what I'm hearing. He's the source of these problems. Infidelity. Problems. But you can't let go what is going on. But you can't let go what happened between you and the sister. It's giving shady and it's giving weird. Okay. Shady and weird. My bad, y'all. So it was not the sister. It was the mom and Charles that got into an argument. And I'm sorry. I'm sitting here using my foot massager doing this damn review. But anyways, it was the mom that got into the argument with Charles. My bad. But yeah, she says that she's trying to clean this up. She's trying to fix this for the family. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Big Daddy Charles apparently is financially responsible for a lot of the family and what they got going on, including Angela's projects. But I don't know. I feel like there's something else with Angela and Charles. Like, there's something with Angela, like, I don't want to say fake, but it's like just scratching the surface. What are you trying to hide, Angela? Something's just not right there. And let's talk about Brit, aka the pretty girl who got something to prove. Okay, the pretty insecure girl with something to prove. Because when there's a few things that we want to touch on by the time this episode is over. Because when they were walking, I'm gonna backtrack for a second. When they were walking and she was like, oh, I don't really have that many female friends. You either love me or hate me. And I take that friendship word seriously. When she said, oh, she don't have that many female friends, it's giving pick me. Honestly, it's giving pick me. It's giving the pretty cool girl, like the pretty girl that acts like a bro, especially with the way that she's my husband. It's giving bro. It's giving bro. It's giving pick me energy. It's giving as long as I got some man next to me, I don't care about women. Like, it's almost even given a little desperate to have a moment, desperate to try to show up a certain way. And I don't know, Brit is just doing too much already, just like by that comment. But let's fast forward to her and Angela's conversation. Now they're talking about her and her family dynamic. She's saying that, you know, when her dad died, her sisters, you know, they took it hard. Her older sister took it the hardest. And how she also financially helps them. But then her sisters claim that Mike, her husband, is acting like, you know, their dad. But let's finish listening to this. So anyways, Brit's just like, her and her sister's relationship hasn't been the same. It's hasn't her sister just never recovered. He never got it together. And they get up, and Angela's like, okay, yeah, well, you know, I'm going to be having an event. I hope to get all you girls together. And, you know, I did invite Shamia to, you know, to make the peace, because I do feel like we got off on the wrong foot, because, you know, they got into it in the last episode. And she makes a comment that Shamia feels like she was acting when she was like, oh, I don't want to speak to Angela's representative, when Angela was sitting there going in for Drew, I think. Yeah. And you know what, Angela, you are acting. You are very much so acting. I haven't really put my finger on what it is, but you are acting. It's giving not all the details. It's giving I'm hiding something. It's giving facade. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. And then she also brings up, you know, that she wants to move past it, but, you know, there was just that mean girl energy that she was feeling from Shamia that day, but she wants to get over it. And then Brit says, oh, well, you know, Shamia's always been warm and welcoming with me, but, you know, Kenya, on the other hand, baby, why is Kenya even coming up? Why are you so hard pressed about Kenya? So she was like, oh yeah, Kenya came off to me all nice, nasty, being all snooty and rude to me. But, you know, I want to try to give her a second chance, because people say that about me sometimes. Girl, you are so pressed over Kenya. Sitting there in the confessional talking about, well, with a personality like hers, how can you not ruffle feathers? Girl, you are so obsessed with Kenya. You are so up, and it's like, you know what it is? She puts Kenya on this pedestal, you know. When she puts Kenya on this pedestal, and she is like, she wants to get validation from Kenya. She wants to get approval from Kenya. She wants to be Kenya. Okay? Like, girl, just obsessed with Kenya. And then on top of that, Brit is like, she's just, the way she's carrying on about it, it's just like she's doing the most. She has not let this thing go with Kenya about the ring for the past the past 3 episodes. So it just seems like you're doing the most. It just seems like you're doing this just to create a storyline, like to force a storyline. Okay, Brit, so you said that y'all spoke of the Balmain event a little bit, and that you can be snippety too and throw little jabs here and there. Then why were you so pressed at the end of the episode? Okay, anyways, I'm tired of these two. Let's move on to Shamia and her sister and their conversation. So they sit poolside, and Shamia invites her over, pops open some bubbly. She wants her sister to hear her new song. She's been in the studio with Mr. RL. The song is called Never Had. It's a little R&B boppington. She talks about, you know, she started in the Sunbeam Choir and the Church of Christ or something like that. She's always saying, you know, here and there and, you know, a little bit of everywhere, but she's never really had, hold up, I gotta reset my foot massager. But she's never really had her, like, moment, you know, her breakout moment. And she says that she wants to play it for the girls too the next time she sees them, which is going to be at Angela's party. And she was like, child, if I was Angela, I wouldn't have invited myself. But, you know, I'm glad. I want to extend the olive branch, you know. And she says that she, you know, should have never made fun of that girl's physical appearance, but continues to shade the girl's physical appearance is in the confessionals. But yeah. Now Shamia talking about you was a smooth criminal for what she said about her nose. No, about how she looked like LaToya Jackson, and how you gonna moonwalk your way out of this. Man, that's funny, but no. Okay? But no. Be nice. Don't make fun of how that lady looks, even if you think it's true. Yeah, Shamia, you cannot be advocating for sisterhood and making fun of that girl's appearance like that. Like, no, can't do it. But that's it. And now I think this is the scene where we see Portia at her headquarters. But let's see. So yes, we see Portia sit down with her team, and they're talking about her businesses, and rest in peace to her cousin Londi. I did not know she passed away until recently when I was listening to something today. Yeah, so they're sitting down, they're talking about Pampered and, you know, just building her empire and, you know, expanding to home decor and all these wonderful things. But one of the things that I want to highlight is one of the guy on her team, he brings up that Drew reached out to her about having a sit down with with her and Dennis. Drew, the guy, and Dennis, I guess, about Drew's music career. And he's like, when did Dennis become Quincy Jones, right? And then Portia brings up, you know, just about how Drew has not been really like fulfilling, you know, things in her contract. But, you know, she can't just fire her. And also, now I'm going to say this and we're going to move on, that Dennis doesn't need to be filming with Drew. And y'all, I'm sorry, but I definitely feel like there's something going on between Dennis and Drew, more than just business and more than just brotherly and sisterly love. Okay, like, I really do. Yes, the first thing I want to take away from this scene with Drew and Ralph, why don't you have a shirt on in your confessional with that suit on? That's it. Let's just start there. Okay, so not really much happened between Drew and Ralph. They just talked about their co-parenting situation. They haven't really directly talked to the kids about the divorce because it's in their agreement not to. But I think one of the kids brought Ralph an article saying that he was a narcissist. And Drew was like, you are a narcissist. And he was like, you know what, if that's your experience of me, then I'm sorry. And she was like, whoa. And he was like, see, a narcissist can't apologize. And it's like, isn't that something a narcissist would do? I don't know. But anyways, I'm no psychiatrist or Drew Sidora on Google. What else? They talk about the judge's order, and Drew says something about maybe there's a better way to do something. I don't know if that would be like a custody agreement, but Ralph said that he's happy. And she's like, I know you happy. And they show him a clip of him on like ATL Cribs, and he's like giving you a tour of like his basement, which is really like a penthouse in a house. It's very nice. Okay, done with the foot massager. But yeah, and of course he likes it. He has his own whole apartment down there. Drew is there, so he literally has on-site help with the kids, right? The kids are there. He's comfortable. They get their weekends. It's the perfect setup for him. I can't be mad at him. Drew, who knows? Maybe she likes it too. Like, honestly, she gets to have Dennis go to the studio, do her music. She gets to... Let's just keep watching. Okay, so then we see Kelly and we see Kenya, and they meet up at the Kenya Moore hair spa. And two main things that happen here. Well, a couple things. Kenya's showing her around. You know, she said it was just an open space. She built the spa from the ground up. You know, she's getting Kelly's business advice. You know, they're just getting to know each other. And Kelly's like, Kenya's so cool. Like, I don't know what's going on with Brit. Oh, and then, you know, Kenya's giving Kelly, you know, these compliments, girl, 4 kids wear, you know, da-da-da. And then they get into the divorce with Kelly. Currently, Kelly, she has a restraining order against her ex-husband because I believe now in current time that the divorce is finalized. But has a restraining order against him. He threatened to unalive her in court. Yeah, so he can't even see the girls, like nothing due to his threats because Kenya, because that got prompted because Kelly had a bodyguard. And Kenya was like, what's up with the bodyguard? And, you know, that was that. But, you know, Kenya said he tried to color purple her, but Kelly said, I waited and exhaled him. So that is tough, and good for her for taking every precaution that she can. And I'm glad that the divorce is finalized. And Kenya was like, what are y'all even fighting about? Like, what's going on? But apparently it seems like it's a lot of business stuff. He wants control of the business, try to shut it down. They did start it together, but yeah, so that's the current state of that. Kenya, you know, she's just nervous about the spa. She wants it to be successful. She's like, how did you get people in the door to your place? Nana's, I think, Chicken and Waffles. And Kelly was like, just honestly, word of mouth. And, you know, Kenya starts to tear up. She's like, dude, I spent Brooklyn's college fund $400,000. Whew, first time I said that out loud. But you know what? I agree with Kelly. Everything's going to fall into place, and Brooklyn is going to have more than enough money to go to college. But yeah, so that was that. That was a really nice scene between the both of them. And yeah, that's it. So we see Brit and her older sister meet up at a restaurant. They're having some dinner. And her sister's just expressing to her how she's been missing her. But one thing that I did notice that apparently, you know, her and her sister, they had a little bit of a falling out where her sister blocked her at some point. So obviously she unblocked her. Just wanted to put that out there. But her sister's just been feeling like, you know, Brit hasn't been there for her. It's just been my man, my man, my man. And when she does want to talk to her sister, or she I guess goes over to her house, that mic is just always like right there. And that's totally fair. I get that. And Brit makes a comment, obviously in the confessional. She says, you know, it's my sister isn't where she wants to be in her love life. So we see Drew pull up to the studio, and guess who's there? Dennis. Dennis, you know Portia is not going to be happy about that. You know you're wrong for that, Dennis. Okay? So, I just wanted to start off by saying that. And Drew is like, you know, Dennis is my executive producer. He's put me in places with really good writers. And I was going to wait and watch the whole scene, but I have to say this, and I don't know why. But when Dennis was standing up, the way he was standing and like his posture and his belly and everything, it just gives, I don't know why I feel like they're sleeping together, but that's what it just gives. And he was like, you gonna be performing tonight? And she was like, yeah, you know it. And there's also another producer and then like, you know, the engineer in there, of course. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, you single now. So, you know, you got to get a little, you know, a little some with it. And she's like, not yet. Didn't sign on the dotted line. And I don't, y'all know Portia is not going to like this Dennis. I'm actually, I'm not even going to lie. The first time I saw this, I was surprised. I really thought that he was going to honor Portia on that. But, okay. So, Drew and Dennis, they sit down and talk, and she's like, you know, I've been having some conflict with the girls. Like you said, Portia was cool. Apparently, she's not. He's like, listen, when we started working together, she was in Nigeria eating fufu. Shade. And then she also says, I'm hoping that you could bridge the gap. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you take the lead on that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but that was so weak to me. I'm gonna let you take the lead on that. Boy, bye. You should have said something to Portia. You supposed to be the one not even on camera with Drew. Child, like, and that was it. She got into the booth, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like both of them, it's about to be a thunderstorm. It was like a big thing of lightning. But anyways, I feel like both of them are lying. I feel like both of them are trying to cover something up. Both of them are avoiding Portia about this situation for a reason, in my opinion. Just something does not seem right. But, and y'all know Drew be lying. And of course, Dennis don't care about keeping his word to Portia. He's going to do what he wants to do. So, yeah. So we're doing one of these get ready montages where they show all the ladies getting ready at their house. And I just want to say something, because this, excuse me, rubbed me the wrong way and it's like a red flag. When Shamia FaceTimes Portia, she's like, ooh, you look so pretty. And Portia says, ooh, you look like you're just getting started. And then when they get off the phone, she's like, just make sure you look super fab. And that just seems so just like shady. But I think that I don't think they're going to end up friends by the end of the season. And honestly, good, because Shamia does not need to be running around this season defending Portia. She has her own storyline and whatnot to build. And two, Portia is not a friend. I don't know. It's giving like secret hater, because Portia hasn't. I don't know. It's just giving secret hater. It's giving, I'm not really your friend. It's giving, you are more so a tool of convenience. You know, you're a prop. You know, someone to manipulate the most. She'll do what she wants, but you know, Shamia gonna wake up. But anyways, yeah. So they get to Angela's event. Everybody said it's in the hood, child, but I mean, it looked cool. It's called the bank, or the bank, and you know, it has a cool little entrance, and it was all black. All the girls had their little black outfits on except Kenya. So Kenya walks in a teal Versace dress, and she's going around saying hi to all the girls. And she goes, and because she's gonna sit next to Brit, and she walks and she gives Brit a hug, and and honestly, it was a cute little hug, right? And Brit goes, "That wasn't a hug, that was a pat, that was a pat, that was a pat, that was a pat." And it's just like, but you did the same thing though. Like, watching it, it looks like the 50-50 mutual pat hug energy. Okay, and Kenya's like, "No, that was enough of a hug to not get makeup on you." Agreed. Because I do the same thing, especially when I have makeup on, or even if my hair is wet, I'm like, okay, I don't want to get too close. I got a lot going on here. So it's like, Brit, here you go looking for problem, attracting issues, girl. Stop. So Brit is in the confessional. She's like, you know, with how she's been coming at me and how she just hugged me, you know, that I don't appreciate that. And it's just like, girl, you hear the thunder. It's just like, girl, y'all are two grown women who don't get along like that. She does not have to hug you like that. That's not where that's gonna start. Shamia comes in looking all sparkly. She gives Angela the olive ranch and the olive oil, sincerely apologizes for making fun of her looks, and yeah, that's pretty much that. The way I thought I was talking this whole time, filming this whole time. So the girls are chatting. Kelly calls out Drew and says that Drew bought unwelcome guests to the event, brought her makeup artist and her sister. Both didn't get anything. And then she said that Drew was the only one who didn't get anything either. And Drew was like, "Oh, yes, I did." And then it's like holding up her phone and like showing her text messages between her and the sales associate. And Kelly's like, "Okay, that's cute," because Drew said she got a blazer for her son. Kelly's like, "That's cute, but I don't see a transaction." I agree, Kelly. Kelly didn't see a transaction, nor did she see you walk out with a bag. So it's like, Drew, stop lying. Just like how you lying about whatever you and Dennis got going on. And Kelly, and then Drew's like, "Oh, you see that?" And Kelly's like, "Oh, I see a text from Dennis." And then you see Portia in the cut, like, right behind Kelly. So Shamia starts talking to the girls about how she's been in the studio and how she's been singing for a long time, and she has a song that she wants to show them that she's really excited about. And here comes Portia. Ooh, I just popped one of the gummy bears off of my phone. And here comes Portia and all her teeth. Is it a diss track? Portia, why would you say that? So Shamia starts playing it, right? And as soon as Shamia is playing it, like, she's just not letting the song play. She's like, "That's not you. That's not you. That's Drew. That's not you. That's not you. That's Drew. I don't know your singing voice. And then you know, all the other girls are just sitting there and they're like, "Wow, that was good." Portia, that was really you? Were my ears really misleading me the whole time? And Shamia's like, "Yeah, your ears were not listening." And then Shamia's in the confessional like, "Portia, just stop." And I feel the same way. Portia, stop. hating. Why? Because you haven't come up with any music since you had that awful hard bang pre-surgery. I'm so glad that Shamia dropped her. I'm glad they're not friends anymore, because Portia is not a friend, because the way she sat up there and was not supporting her the whole time and saying, oh, that's not you, that's true, that's not you, and just would not let her shine, it's giving manipulative. Yeah, no, I don't like that. So the girls start to play a game, and they basically have these slips that they write anonymous questions on. The first two questions was, Shamia, what did you do to thank your husband for that Rolls Royce? And she got real freaky, basically, okay? The next question was, Angela, what is a secret that you don't want the group to know? And she was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, so what's the secret that you wouldn't want the group to know? And then someone's like, oh, have you ever had a threesome? And she's like, no. And then Portia was like, oh, I heard Charles is spicy. And everybody's like, what? Brit's like, you got some tea? And she's like, nope, I'm not gonna say nothing just yet. Next question. Portia, tell us what you know, because I knew there was some. I feel like Charles is in these streets. I feel like he is in these streets for real, but to be continued on that. Okay, next questions are for Kenya. The girls ask Kenya, what color panties do you have on? She says, she gets up, she shows them, and Kenya and Portia is just like amazed. Next was, why are you so, the next two questions were aimed at her too. The first one was, Kenya, why are you so worried about happily married women? And she's like, oh, it's a habit. And of course she's joking. And the next question Brit asked, which was interesting, and it was, why can't you speak to Brit kindly? And Kenya's like, I can speak to everyone kindly. Let's go from there. Yeah, Kenya's like, I can speak to everyone kindly. Brit's like, no, we're talking about me. Speaking to me kindly. Kenya says, as I said, I speak to no, we're talking about me. And Kenya's like, you know what? And she's like, why? Because I have the floor. And Kenya said, you know, you want to have a moment. And Brit is just going in. Oh, I don't want to have a moment. You know, da-da-da-da. So just watch who you talking to. Da-da-da. Just going in. And Kenya said, listen, a peasant can't come for a queen. She was like, queen? Who the are you talking to calling a peasant? You know, and, you know, she says something to somebody across the table, Brit. And she's like, oh, I didn't send for her. Kenya goes, thank you for using my catchphrase, right? And then Kenya just gets up, starts clapping, and she's like, thank you, Angela, because at this point, Brit is just going off, doing the most, calling Kenya out of her name, and, oh, some people just want to do the most. And no, girl, you're doing the most. Your energy right now is too much. You were too ready. You came in ready to be offended by Kenya, looking for offense, girl. And you're creating your own issues right now, going in like this, ruining the event. So yeah, Angela at this point is just giving all the gifts away. And Brit is like, I mean, get the fuck out of here. You know what, let me, thank you. You know, they leave. Kenya, I mean, is not even paying attention to her. And Brit's like, let me go call my husband that cares about me. My husband. Let me go call my husband. And then they get out to the little foyer or whatever. And I know I just botched that foyer. And her and Kelly are just laughing obnoxiously. Let me catch this moment and let me call my husband. Where's my husband? And then as Portia and Kenny are walking out, Kelly and Brit are on the other side of the room. And then this is when Kelly's like, I mean, I still have my not Kelly, excuse me. When Brit is like, and I mean, I still have my pistol. Girl, what do you need your pistol for? Like, I mean, that was just so, like, wild to say. You're that bothered. You are that bothered. Like, girl, you are weird. You are so weird. For as as much as you are that girl and your husband, it's giving insecure, it's giving triggered, it's giving single white female. Where's my husband? Baby, yeah. Where's my husband? Yeah, no, that bitch better not play with me. She know. Husband walks in. That bitch better not play with me. Oh, yeah, that bitch better not. That bitch. Brit. After Kenya said, I speak to everybody kindly, you could have just been like, okay, kept it cute and kept it pushing. But now it has been all of this. You look so ridiculous right now. Like, you actually look so ridiculous and down low and low vibe. Just your energy is not good. It's not good. It's nasty. You have the nasty energy. She said, don't play with me, bitch. Don't play with me. Don't play with me in front of the cameras. This is real life. I got whips, pistols. That is whips. That is so... I don't even know how to feel about that. But it's just like, girl. And then her husband's like, you got a mic on. She's like, take this off of me. Just cutting up. It's like, Brit, what else? What are you on right now? It's giving drugs. Like, I don't know. It's giving weird. It's, oh my gosh. It's, yeah. It's giving drunk and sloppy. And I think this is pretty much the episode. Let me see. So, all this is because she called you a peasant. Talking about, oh, she better respect you and you're not going to do all this Hollywood. Girl, bye. Kelly told her that she was doing the most. Girl, she been doing the most. You should have been checked your friend out like 10 minutes ago. But then we see Kenya about to get in the car with Portia. And yeah, that we have like 1 minute left. So I guess we hear audio of Kenya, Portia, and Shamia. And they're driving off. And Kenya's like, yeah, she was talking all wild. Talking about guns. Talking about how she got her pistol. And then Kenya was like, yeah, she gotta go. She gotta go for real. And Portia was like, oh, let me go this way because she was wild. And Kenya goes, please, I wish you would try something so she can get kicked off of this show. Girl, Kenya's has already plotted on how her demise. Bye, Brit. So that was, But yeah, but also too, before they got in the car and they drove off, or I guess as they were driving off, Brit is sitting there talking to Kelly and Angela and her husband. Oh, she's just dismissive, manipulative, da-da-da-da. Girl, you are thinking too much into this. Kenya doesn't owe you anything. She does not owe you anything. You so desperate. You still that little girl in high school who wants validation, who wants to feel included. Stop it and be the confident grown woman that you're supposed to be. Girl, bye. Yes, if you're here, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. You like my shirt, y'all? I'm from Iowa. Anyways, bye.